Hello dear learners, hope you all are enjoying your learning. In this video we will learn about culturally responsive assessment. Many people think that assessment is limited to paper and pencil test given in the classroom to see if students have learned the content or not. Assessment is far more than pencil and paper test. You are using a form of assessment each time you observe your student in the classroom, look at products and performances, or talk with teacher, parents or student about the progress the student are making. Assessment involves anything you do to gather information to make decision about your student learning. There are many forms of data, including test scores, responses to questionnaires, and ratings. But assessment is a general term used to describe the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information for an intended purpose. The primary purpose of assessment is to gather information or a data. Actually, data is a simply information you use as a basis of decision making. Assessment includes many different ways to collect, analyze, and interpret this data. In general, there are three types of assessment most commonly used by the teacher for the purpose of learning about student progress, and these are standardized tests, or commercially prepared assessments, or a teacher-made assessment. In this video, we will learn about culturally responsive assessment. Actually, culturally responsive assessment involves being student-focused, but does not simply mean being mindful of student. Culturally responsive assessment is a assessment that is mindful of the students' population the institution serves, using language that is appropriate for all students when developing learning outcome, acknowledging student differences in the planning phase of an assessment effort, developing, or you can say using assessment tools that are appropriate for different students, and being intentional in using assessment result to improve learning for all students. In a classroom assessment will be valid. The feedback must move learning forward. In order to determine if a teacher feedback is valid and can affect learning, whether the feedback contributes to significant learning outcome must be scrutinized. In culturally responsive classroom, teachers need to understand how cognitive approaches and socio-cultural origin of classroom afford student participation in assessment. In this case, one might question what is generally considered valid or what determines the validity of content is cultural. To practice assessment in diverse cultural classroom, teacher requires insights into their student cultural ways of expressing themselves. Assessment strategies that are more culturally fair or culturally responsive to diverse students. So, we are going to discuss how different assessment strategies, including strategies for assessment for learning in diverse schools, or you can say in diverse classroom, that can be used to achieve the goal of culturally responsive assessment, which also requires the use of a range of assessment formats and different strategies. There are 4 4 strategies with the potential to be culturally responsive and can be used in both formative and summative format at the classroom level in the diverse classroom. In performance-based assessment, the use of application and demonstration of knowledge and skills are evaluated. And in peer and self-assessment, these both are integral of assessment for learning and can potentially create more equitable assessment practices in diverse cultural classrooms. In creative assessment, strategies are used to assess student ability for creating thinking. Actually, creativity is defined as that which produce something that is novel and useful and showing few differences across ethnicity or culture. And another strategy, that is dynamic assessment strategy. These strategies are used to consider student language proficiency. Actually, Lift described the central feature of dynamic assessment as assessment that relies on active interaction between student and assessor. Assessor means teacher. So, there is a need for assessment that allows students to demonstrate their learning in various ways while also being transparent about the learning that is taking place, help students reflect on their learning experiences and allow students to actively participate in the learning and assessment process. Course level assessments such as culturally responsive rubric, portfolios and different projects can lead to more valid, appropriate, holistic and formative assessment where results are more indicative of what all students can do or lead to more targeted improvements in teaching and learning. Actually, rubric, when they undergo a culturally conscious development process and are shared with students, can be a way of accurately assess learning for all students while allowing variation in how the learning is demonstrated. In the next video, we will discuss about all these strategies one by one. So, enjoy learning.